Ever pondered over what could be Hitler's greatest mistake during World War II? Let's dive into the heart of the storm, the year 1941, when Hitler, driven by a toxic blend of racial ideology and expansionist ambitions, made a strategic blunder that would play a major role in his downfall, launching Operation Barbarossa. Convinced of the superiority of the Aryan race and the imminent collapse of communism, Hitler decided to invade the vast lands of the Soviet Union. He envisioned a swift victory and the establishment of a new German-dominated order, but his dreams were far from reality. This monumental decision was a gamble that Hitler placed against the Soviet Union, one that would prove to be his downfall. He had wagered everything on a single throw of the dice, and as the events of World War II would soon reveal, it was a bet he was destined to lose. But what about the famously paranoid Soviet premier Joseph Stalin? Why didn't he see it coming? Let's delve into that. Interestingly, Stalin's paranoia was primarily focused inward, on internal threats to his power. This fixation led him to underestimate the possibility of a German invasion. Despite intelligence reports suggesting otherwise, Stalin chose to believe that Hitler would not risk a two-front war. This was a critical miscalculation. Hitler, ever the opportunist, seized upon this error. He launched Operation Barbarossa, catching the Soviets completely off guard. It was a shocking betrayal, one that Stalin had not anticipated. This miscalculation had far-reaching consequences, setting the stage for the brutal conflict that would ensue on the Eastern Front. Stalin's misinterpretation of intelligence reports allowed Hitler to catch the Soviets off guard. It was a mistake, a miscalculation, that would cost millions of lives and alter the course of history. Now let's turn our attention to the importance of the Russian winter and the Soviets' ultimate victory. As the German forces advanced deeper into the vast Russian territory, they were met with an adversary they hadn't prepared for: the harsh Russian winter. The extreme cold conditions presented a daunting challenge. Their machinery, designed for more moderate climates, started failing. Tanks and aircraft became unresponsive, their lubricants freezing in the biting cold. Meanwhile, the German soldiers, ill-equipped for such severe weather, faced their own battles. Frostbite and hypothermia became as deadly as any bullet or shell. These logistical nightmares slowed the once lightning-fast blitzkrieg to a crawl, stalling their advance and giving the beleaguered Soviet forces a chance to regroup. Hitler's refusal to halt the offensive during winter was a fatal mistake, providing the Soviets the opportunity to regroup and launch a counteroffensive. The Russian winter, thus, proved to be a formidable ally in the Soviet Union's defense against the German invasion. So, how did Operation Barbarossa contribute to Hitler's downfall? Hitler's gamble to conquer the Soviet Union was a disastrous misstep. His belief in a swift victory over the Red Army was a gross miscalculation. The invasion launched without a declaration of war, catching the Soviets off guard, but this initial success was short-lived. Stalin's paranoia had blinded him to the imminent external threat. But once the invasion began, the Soviet Union was quick to mobilize. The harsh Russian winter played a significant role, with the ill-prepared and ill-equipped German forces facing logistical nightmares. Hitler's refusal to halt the offensive during winter was a fatal mistake, allowing the Soviets to regroup, rearm, and launch a counteroffensive. Hitler's betrayal of Stalin and the launch of Operation Barbarossa not only opened up a second front in the war, but also set in motion a series of events that would lead to the downfall of the Nazi regime. Thus, Operation Barbarossa stands as a testament to Hitler's greatest mistake, one that would lead to the eventual collapse of the Third Reich.